You ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Get ready, Grizzlies fans. It is time for the Surfside Can Shuffle. Can you keep up with the cans and find Mac the Crab?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Each challenge is unique, so each game plan is customized to identify opportunity and the path to victory. It's true in basketball, it's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle with personalized planning and advice. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by May 30th, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
25 years of history, going back to where it all started. B2K is back. The Millennium Tour presents the Boys for Life Tour. Bow wow.
I ain't impressed cause ain't none of them at all.
Boys for Life. Also starring Pretty Ricky, B5, Young Jock, Crime Mob, A. Marie, and Franchise Boys. April 26th, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Presented by the Black Promoters Collective.
New Amsterdam Vodka is an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the only exceptionally smooth vodka that is 5 times distilled, 3 times filtered, and rated 93 points. New Amsterdam believes wins big and small become legendary when you celebrate them with your crew. So here's to the blue, white, and gold, the Memphis grit and grind, and reliving winning moments big and small with Tennessee's favorite basketball team. New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins.
Azzi's making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Her
good stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
Here we go. It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It's a Thursday, April 16th, 2026 edition of the show. Today on the show, it is all breaking correctly for the Memphis Grizzlies and their opportunity to get a second lottery pick. As the games went down last night, we said when we were leaving here, we're going to root for the Philadelphia 76ers. That worked out. The outcome of the Clippers and the Warriors did not particularly matter, but you do need somebody to believe in against the Phoenix Suns, and the Warriors pulled off the absolutely incredible fourth quarter comeback against the Clippers to end their season. We'll go through both of those. Our buddy Jared Weiss has been covering the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby, and now is about to be covering the NBA playoffs for The Athletic. He's going to join us today. It's a Thursday. It's nice out. Smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Everybody's having a good day. All right, we got a bunch of stuff to get to on the show today, not the least of which is the play-in games that went on last night, which for 2 nights in a row have been wildly entertaining. There are no games going on tonight, and obviously we're going to have 2 on Friday night that make a huge difference towards the plight of the Grizzlies and their opportunity to get a second lottery pick and maybe have 2 in what is a great draft. They at least got 2 chances at it, given that Phoenix is going to be playing to keep their season alive and Orlando is going to be playing to keep their season alive by virtue of what took place last night. We will go through everything we saw last night. As I mentioned, Jared Weiss has written a bunch throughout the year. He's been down we used to have him on when he was doing Boston for a long time, and then he's been on Spurs beat and Wemby beat throughout this year, and a bunch of different times on the show we have played clips that came from Jared Weiss questions to Wemby, and so we're going to talk to him about this upcoming weekend, the playoffs coming up. Their matchup is already set against the Portland Trailblazers, and maybe some differences about covering both the Spurs and the Celtics, which not only does he cover that Spurs beat, but the NBA at large. So Jared Weiss from The Athletic is going to join us on today's show. Before I get to anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandit, Senior Sack. Johnny Backpull, Johnny Bearcat, the Grim Roser, John Asparagus, Johnny Neck Carb, John Lance. He's Dr. Thunder. He's John the Polluter. He's John Sweeney. Hello, John.
What up?
Devin Walker's here. He's the microphone mangler, Senor Quasadilla, Mr. Man. Navajo Joe. He's the reporter, the photographer. He's Sir Hiss. He's Walker 93.
Yo, man, I'm the king of the Outback, bro. Shout out to Outback Steakhouse. Great.
Yeah, I saw you
my
posted last night a video from your granny's birthday.
Yeah, 75.
That was obviously at Outback Steakhouse. You guys got the crew together, went to Outback for Granny's birthday. So we've got I can't remember the last time that I was at Outback Steakhouse. It's been a long time.
I think 10 plus years?
No, not that long. I do quite like Outback.
Outback is fire.
You know that was my first job? My first job was being a dishwasher at Outback Steakhouse, and I lasted a week before I got walking pneumonia, and I never went back. Walking pneumonia. Like I was wet and cold every night, and I finally got pneumonia, and I ended up getting a job at a car wash where it was just me and a bunch of convicted felons. It's a true story.
Were you like a kid, bro?
I worked in a car. Yeah, I was 16 years old. I was 16. It was my first job.
What are they trying
I was 16 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean,
You probably got some stories, bro.
Yeah, I had to so it was one of those car washes. It was called Ballast Car Wash. And you had to, it was one of those car washes, like a nice car wash. And then this was in the 90s, there was this huge wave of car washes where the car would go through, the people would go inside, and then when the car would come out, you vacuum it, you clean the windshield, it was almost like a quick detail, right? But bro, I learned within about a couple weeks, you better be on that driver's side door or you are never seeing a tip. Not from these cats. These cats had done hard time. And so I would try to maneuver to make sure that I was at you know what I mean? They weren't splitting nothing with me.
Yeah.
Were you asking yo, did they leave? Did you have anything extra?
Yeah.
No. They didn't have anything extra.
No, they didn't have anything. I learned very quickly.
6-year-old white kid with a bunch of convicted fellas.
Hilarious. It's a great job, though.
Nice.
Great job. I loved it. And I used to get to go to I would leave and go eat fast food by myself every day. I'd come back and wash some more cars. That was my job. But anyways, I did work at Outback for a minute, and I gotta be honest with you. When I worked there, I gained a whole new respect for the way that place works. Honestly,
how does it work?
It was really nice. Okay, so one night they told me I didn't have to they took me away from the washing of the dishes, and I went back to a room, and they just gave. I'm not even gonna tell all these stories. They put me in this room with 1 million potatoes. All right. Yeah, and the potatoes are huge. These huge potatoes at Outback, and I had to wipe them down with butter and then put salt on them and stack them in these bins, storage bins. If you ever go back there, there is a room and they've got 1 million. They sit there with butter and salt on them forever.
This man got all the Outback secrets, bro.
Huge potatoes?
Huh?
Wait, what are they for?
They're for use. That's where they get them from. But I'm saying you butter them and salt them and whatever, and then they're in these bins, and they just kind of cure like that. And then I'd in the back, I don't know. I think I thought I was gonna work at some place where I'd be ugh, I'm never eating at this place again. I didn't feel that way when I worked there.
Yeah.
But again, I mean that was freaking 30 years ago.
Yeah,
so
Outback
what
might
do
be
I know?
different now. I mean,
Anyways,
what y'all think about Outback work? First of all, we set the tone with the Bloomin' Onion. You got to set the tone with the Bloomin' Onion.
Yeah,
bro. Bloomin' Onion's undefeated, bro. Fire.
What it's Victoria's filet, right? I used to get Victoria's filet.
What?
I think that's the name of it.
Is the steak?
Yeah. And then when I was in college, we used to go there and get the Outback Special because it was the cheap one. So you could get the Outback Special. It was like a sirloin or something. Yeah. And you could get the Outback Special. We used to go there when I was in college, me and my buddies, and it was you get the potato, the salad, the Outback Special, whatever. It wasn't all that expensive. But and then bloomin' onions, cheese fries.
You gotta get the bloomin' onions.
Yeah,
so
you can be careful because you can fill up on that bread. They bring you that bread on that.
I will say, power rank the bread. Outback bread, it's not touching Texas Roadhouse with the cinnamon butter.
But that bread is
Ooh,
unbelievable.
that bread is.
It's the butter.
It's so gas.
It's whatever the butter is. Anyway,
it ain't touching the.
What did you order at Outback Steakhouse? Don't disappoint me.
Come on, bro.
Don't tell me you went and got chicken fingers.
Close. It's close.
Oh, what?
I got the half rack of ribs.
You did
the
not.
half rack Outback ribs.
You live in Memphis and you got ribs at Outback?
Half rack Outback
You did not.
ribs. Yes, bro.
You got ribs at Outback.
Half rack Outback ribs, bro.
You're a maniac.
Didn't the
You
ribs?
live in Memphis. Would you go there and order a barbecue sandwich?
They ain't got that.
You're a menace.
If they had that, I probably would.
Oh, my God.
What do I get cleared out for?
Are there wings
That
good
is
anymore? The
crazy.
Kookaburra? I
Of
used to always
course.
get the wings. I used to get the wings.
Who? This is crazy.
Yeah, the
I can't order
You
half
went to
rack.
Outback Steakhouse and
Yes.
ordered ribs?
Half rack, bro. And it was,
Oh, my God.
And they were Gunsmoke,
look,
too.
I'm alone now.
Yeah,
it's
what-
all me.
what did-
What did I do wrong?
Because you're sitting over there like Kookaburra wings.
The wings are awesome.
Okay, why are you guys talking about going? That's
What
not
do
where we
you
go.
order at Outback?
That's not where we go to get wings and ribs.
What do
I
you-
always got their...
This is like literally the best barbecue city in the country and the most underrated / best wing city in the country.
you go to
And you
Outback.
guys, why don't you?
I haven't been to Outback in probably
You're
15
nutty,
years.
buddy.
What,
so...
what are we supposed to order at Outback, bro?
I don't know.
It's
steaks.
Australian food.
No, you get...
It's down
not
under, bro.
Australian.
It's not
Down
Australian
under.
food. That's just their theme.
Why don't you
But-
get a steak?
I don't eat steak, bro.
You don't eat steak.
I don't like the way steak.
well,
I don't like the way it sits on my
here's
stomach.
the other thing too. Like, bro, if I'm getting a steak, I'm not going to Outback in Memphis to get a steak.
Respectful. All right, so we get the half rack of ribs.
Respectfully, I'm not going there for a steak.
So Gunsmoke, by the way, the ribs are fire. I don't care what you say, bro. Half rack Outback ribs,
Yeah.
Gunsmoke.
Speak
then we
on
get
it.
the two sides, right? You get the two sides with the ribs. So I go fries. I go premium mac, bro. Smokehouse macaroni, fire. Then for dessert.
You've lost all credibility.
What are you talking about?
No, you've just lost all credibility anyway.
All credibility.
You went to Outback in Memphis and ordered ribs.
What am I supposed to order at Outback, bro?
One of
They
those
gave a huge
stamps that
menu.
come up on the screen that goes right on Devin. It says credibility lost.
That's crazy. Don't get done no ideas. Then for dessert, I'm not a cheesecake guy. So then
Chocolate Thunder Down Under.
I was thinking about going down under for the cheese for the down under. Pause. But I went with the skillet cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a winner.
Yeah, there you go. See,
That's an
I
absolute
came
winner.
back. Look, come back,
Yeah,
bro.
all right. You did okay at the
Yeah,
end.
the skillet cookie. Come on now.
How would you say the ribs were?
Oh, it was fire. What's wrong with you?
They're great.
Yeah, come on. Outback ribs.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I mean, I might have.
8?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
You don't eat ribs a lot, do you?
Don't sleep on Outback ribs, bro.
Okay.
Maybe I was maybe I had a little help, but
All right.
shout out to
All
Outback.
right, look, it is all breaking the Grizzlies' way with these games that have gone on the last 2 nights. So let's start with the first one, which was about 5 minutes into the game. I text you guys how much I love Tyrese Maxey. And you know what it dawned on me as I was watching that game? He is in right now. Like at this very moment, he is in the pocket. Like there, you can get to this, and it's interesting because it's juxtaposed with a guy on the other side in Paolo Banchero who has gone. Now we're past Paolo, and now it's criticized time, right? Yeah. Tyrese Maxey is in the absolute pocket where A, he is awesome, B, he is likable, and C, which is very hard to achieve, who doesn't like him?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody hate Tyrese Maxey? That's what I'm saying.
I've heard people say they don't have an opinion about him, but yeah.
I'm saying you get to, there's a pocket that you get in, right? Ja had it for a little bit. Where you get, like, you're exciting, you're fun, you smile. A, I like watching you play. B, you are awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, and he got a signature shoe.
But there's nothing to like bag on him on. You can't be like, oh yeah, but he can't shoot, or oh he foul baits, or oh he would like. I mean, if we're thinking about like the most likable, he's way higher on that list than he is amongst I mean, he's going to be an All-NBA player this year.
Yeah.
He'll make All-NBA.
Gotta
And
see
he's what is he?
smiles.
He's top 5. He's top 5, and and he just seems he smiles a lot.
Yeah.
And but he's also a killer. You know, he's drawing your best defender, and he is. I mean, Suggs is trying like hell, and then he's switching on.
That's so nice right there.
Yeah,
that's nice.
They're so good. And then look, so Maxey's on one side, and on the other side, I mean,
Yucatan.
I feel so bad for Magic fans.
Man,
could you imagine having to watch that throughout the season? You know, you could. We can choose not to, right? And last year, a year ago, they were one of my favorite League Pass teams. I loved the song. I loved that they fought so hard. I loved that they had this unbelievable chemistry, and then they like lunch pailed it every night, bringing it to the defensive end, and it was like they went from mega likable to unlikable so fast. And watching their offense last night was, I mean, truly appalling. They just stand around.
Yeah.
And it might be one pass, and then it's just somebody goes and takes it. And Paolo was an absolute mess. And Franz is like, I guess, half hurt and half lame.
And he was getting targeted like a mud, too.
Right. And then like the Suggs thing, it's like they've neutered Suggs' energy. He used to be the like slap the floor, let's go. Whatever. Like I don't know what happened to that team. I know they lost Caldwell Pope. I know they lost Cole Anthony. I know they lost some of those vets. But there's just no explaining how a team that had so much juice just a year ago and seemed together. And there's a million things that go into it. Sometimes it's a locker room. Sometimes it's coaching. Sometimes it's guys got their money. You know, there's a bunch of things that go into it. But my God, I mean, they're appalling to watch. They have way more talent than the way they perform.
I think it's Paolo.
The Paolo thing confuses me, bro.
You watch him. That's not the dude that we saw last year or the year before that. Like, dude, so many times he's just standing in the corner last night.
I compared him to LeBron 2 years ago.
Also, he did a little Ben Simmons-y stuff.
Not
where
one
it was
to
just swing it. Yo, God. And that's the crazy part to me on the Paolo thing. Right? Because we've seen all manner of players. We saw Morant go through this. We've seen Russell Westbrook go through this. Obviously, Ben Simmons went through this. There's a bunch of guys, right? And it's not I caught the ball, there's a huge amount of space in front of me. All right, fine. The hesitation that goes in, where it's like, should I shoot this? No, I'll just whatever. It's the indecisiveness in that moment. It's like these teams routinely just like back off the guy. And that is the moment. And we learned this from Morant. We learned this from all manner of these players. The John Wall, once upon a time, etc.
Giannis does it too.
What they do is they say, all right, you're backing off me. They don't bail you out by pulling a bad shot that they can't make. They use that 5 to 10 feet as a runway. Because now they're freight trains. And this guy's 6'10".
Yeah.
Go to the basket.
Yeah, he want to shoot.
Go to the basket. Denny Avdia goes to the basket. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Why can't you go to the Go to the basket. I'd be watching Denny Avdia. I can't believe I'm even saying. Can you believe we're in a spot where I'm going, Paolo should watch Denny Avdia tape? What is the bizarro world?
Yeah.
But why don't... I'm saying nobody can stay in front of a guy like that. He's too big and too strong. And it's like... He just turned into Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Just standing there like freezing up, and then like, oh my God, it was
maybe
that
some of the time that cripbles you, bro. When you catch a ball, bro, and somebody takes a step back, that like can piss you off.
The thing that played out exactly how we wanted it to.
My boy Dez got
Desmond
crazy.
Bane went
Dez
crazy.
went crazy. Shout out Des Bane.
He was awesome.
41, bro.
He was awesome.
He's a
Shout out
freaking,
Des Bane,
He is
bro.
a beast in the play-in.
Yeah.
Man, he
Play-in
is a play-in
God.
beast.
99 rating, Des Bane.
Anyways.
By the way, Tyrese Maxey stole Bryce Young's girl, by the way. I want to put out that note.
He did what?
He stole his girl. He stole his girlfriend.
Whose girlfriend?
So somebody might not like him as Bryce Young. Bryce Young's girlfriend, Tyrese Maxey, stole her from him.
I mean, actually stole her, or it used to be his girlfriend. Come on, that's not fair.
I'm just saying. You want to know somebody who doesn't like him? Then I just found somebody.
Nobody cares about Bryce Young.
Come on, I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to let you know.
And you don't know any of those circumstances, so that you shouldn't have even thrown that out there. I mean, you don't know. You talk about half these guys have gone out with all the same girls. You kidding me?
This is true.
What are we gonna? Come on.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Like, let's stop acting like you know what I mean.
They do seem to date in the same pools, which is there's like 1 trillion women in the world.
Yes.
Shout out Selena Powell.
Name NBA city and Ritz-Carlton, and maybe there.
Shout out to them.
Anyways, Tyrese Maxey and Philadelphia took care of business, and
they have no spacing either, bro. That's another thing for Paolo.
Of course they don't.
Like it's like
no, they are
the
horribly
spacing
coached.
is horrible.
They don't move.
Yeah, it's like they're like whoever has the ball.
I'm not giving up on Paolo. I'm saying, look, I just said they have a lot better players than how they perform.
Yeah.
They should have fired Mosley 2 months ago and brought in Taylor. He could have fixed that. Taylor Jenkins could have fixed that. He could have. Because he would have gotten the best out of Paolo. Like, if you want to say whatever you want about Taylor Jenkins, the guy knows how to coach it. And they just don't even move. They don't share the ball. Like, the two things that Taylor's good at is getting you to bop the ball around, accentuating your best player, and having your team feel together, right? He'll take your ass to the damn putt-putt. You know what I mean? He'll take you out to dinner. He'll show up at your house. And, like, honestly, you know what? I'm on a text with a bunch of NBA reporters. And last night, somebody opined, has anybody ever gotten imagine if they fired Jamal Mosley before Friday.
That would
What if they fired the guy in between the two play
games would be.
I mean,
that would be
we went
funny.
late. We went late, and Michael Malone, that was late in the game, but it would be hilarious if they fired him about that loss and then went into play on Friday with their season on the line.
Won by like 25.
Won by 20, won by 30. But yo, he was the problem the whole time. I feel like he needs like maybe just watching him, he needs a setup guy. Because he reminds me of like a Carmelo type where he can play in the mid post, but he needs a point guard to set him up. I don't know if Paolo's a creator, bro. I don't know if Paolo's like, I got the ball, I can get busy.
He did last year.
Yeah, but I just
he did last year. He did last year. He showed up in the playoffs too. Yeah. I'm not punting on Paolo Banchero until I see them when their offensive scheme is not 5 guys standing around.
And why they should have the bigger reason.
They don't even set screens. They don't do anything.
No, I'd be looking at each other, but like, you gonna shoot it? You gonna shoot it this time? You gonna shoot it this time?
The other reason that they probably should have made the coaching change too is because like, dude, this might have been like your year because to do something because next year. Dude, their salary shoots up to $215 million for like 10 players.
They're a mess. They're a disgusting watch. And so at least we get to root for Charlotte against them, which who is not going to want to watch Charlotte rather than them playing in the playoffs outside of Orlando fans. But even Orlando fans last night, they're so frustrated watching it.
Yeah. They're mad.
They hate their team.
I went and searched, just for research, I like to go search people's names. I searched Jalen Suggs' name. They hate him and his two-tone bald head. And they're mad as hell at Paolo.
Everybody's mad. Look, the second game, when I said everything is breaking the way you need it to, Steph Curry turning into gold medal Steph and Draymond Green turning into an absolute monster, like truly a monster. This game is sitting at 13 in the fourth quarter with less than 10 minutes to go. And the Warriors, on the back of Steph Curry, end up with a 40-plus point fourth quarter and send the Clippers home. And so now the Clippers season is over. Maybe the Kawhi Leonard era is over. But this Steph Curry turned back the clock like it. Look, it really was. It was like gold medal. Oh, by the way, Al Horford was knocking down.
I was going to say, man, you didn't bring up Horford. Horford was.
He had 3 threes in a row, bro. 3 straight possessions. Yeah. I was like, look at Unk, bro, out there shooting.
I mean, this was just like
championship DNA, bro. If it ain't any, it's on you, bro.
Well, and it's the other thing. Do you remember yesterday? And this plays into the conversation we were having yesterday after we watched the Portland Phoenix game. Look at these highlights.
It was lit.
I mean,
is this? The Horford. Aka.
So it plays into the discussion that we were having yesterday after we had watched Drew Holiday, and it was like, whatever the list is, this is the slow-mo of the Steph shot last night. I mean,
look at him and Draymond. It's like clockwork.
I mean, they just know.
It's like clockwork, bro. Set a screen, get the big. Brooke
this
Lopez,
is unbelievable.
No chance.
Brooke Lopez,
Step
you are done. You are done.
So good.
The celebration after, too, was kind of interesting because, he's wearing them Kobe 9s, and he celebrated. His ankle did the little
And they held up.
And they held up. So shout out to the Kobe 9s. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look at the ankle. Yeah, 30-something serious, boy.
And then Draymond Green, you don't see Kawhi Leonard get picked like that.
No.
You don't see that. He locked his ass up the entire fourth quarter. They couldn't do anything.
0.
Because it is a Kawhi thing. Kawhi Leonard just had one of the best statistical offensive seasons in NBA history. And Draymond Green put him in an absolute straitjacket. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And you want to know what you never hear? I mean, you want to talk about a man of few words. Kawhi Leonard is at the very, very top of the list. Check this out last night. Him talking about the game afterwards. Kawhi Leonard.
They had a great game plan. Just being physical all game. Making sure I don't get no catch and shoot shots. Blitzing every, pick and roll. Getting in the post, seeing two bodies. And then, Draymond, Hall of Fame defender. It was hard to even get shots up.
And then here's Draymond after they told him what Kawhi had said.
To hear one of the greats say that about me, like, man, that's special. That's why you do it. Because you want respect from your peers. And Kawhi he's not just no ordinary peer. Again, he's one of the greats. And so to hear him say that about me, man, that guy took a Defensive Player of the Year award away from me. Like, and to say that about me, like, that means a lot. It means a lot because, he's a man of few words. But when he speaks, it's loud. Because he doesn't speak much. And I don't think there's a player in the NBA that does not respect Kawhi Leonard. He's a special guy. So.
People talk about removing
he's going to be a Warrior next year.
That
just dawned on me watching that.
Right? Felt like that.
When people talk about removing the art from the artist, where there's artists that don't really like a line. I feel like Draymond's one of those dudes. He may be a hot air breathing SOB, but when it's time to clamp up, it's yo, you got it, bro.
Oh no,
you one of them.
That was a freaking.
You are one of them ones, bro. When it comes to locking up on defense,
who rips Kawhi?
He did it multiple times too.
That's what Kawhi does.
Yeah, he did 3 or 4 times.
It doesn't go the other way. He's one of the low turnover guys in NBA history.
Because he's so strong. You try to go for the rip, he turns at you, and you're just like, okay.
And Draymond was just all right, full court. There was one possession towards the end. He picked him up full court. Come on. I'm like, okay. And Kawhi.
Well, and then you realized because he was able to do that and take him out, then it exposed, bro, this all plays off of him.
Yeah.
Because it's not happening with Derrick Jones Jr. And that's where Matherin and Garland had to, they have to shoot more.
Yeah. You see what Garland said after the game?
More.
You see what Garland said? I'm out on my toes or I'm still hurt?
No, I'm playing with 9 toes.
Yeah, I'm playing with 9 toes.
Okay.
Bro, you weren't saying that when you were shooting 50, 40, 90 over the last 15 games. We didn't hear that at all.
I didn't like playing with 9 toes.
Yeah, we didn't hear about that.
Steph Curry showed back up for this. You know what I mean? He missed 27 games.
Exactly.
And he's got runner's knee.
Yeah.
And he's 39.
Draymond brought it up, but how much of that do you think fourth quarter last night is he still holding on to? This freaking dude stole a Defensive Player of the Year from me.
Probably some.
That was that 100%. Second one that he won. That was my Defensive Player of the Year award.
So when I was talking about how the Drew Holiday thing a couple nights ago, and we were having the discussion, it's it's different lists on who do I want for 82 games, who do I want for the playoffs. Who do I want? If I'm lining them all up on the wall and I'm saying I got to win one game, That's what I'm saying. It's different lists. And we were saying Holiday goes way, way higher on that list. Then so do Curry and Draymond.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I got to get them together.
Like,
I got to get them together.
Yeah, but like where if it's just one game, not that, no, we ain't got to play you 7 games. We're playing 1 game tonight. And that, I mean, Draymond is like very high on that list because of that exact reason, which is there is the night that even, I mean, I just said yesterday I was going through those, like, the best PER seasons in history, and Jokic and Wemby and SGA and whatever. Like, this Kawhi Leonard season was one of the best 100 seasons ever.
The highest points per game for somebody his age in NBA history.
It was one. I think it was 96th all time.
Yeah, that's OD.
His PER this season, Kawhi Leonard, was 96th all time. Couldn't get a shot off. The only two, I think it was 0 for 2.
Yeah, he had a layup in
but that was transition.
That was over with. The game
and
was
then
over
one
with.
of them was off a cut.
Yeah.
Where they had like screened off a Draymond.
Yeah, when the game was in limbo, Draymond was clamping. Do you know when people talk about like championship DNA, like when we talk about it, you can't really like explain it, but like when you see it, you see it. Like that last night was championship DNA, bro.
There's no question.
Draymond, Curry, cooking.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to look. These first 2 nights have been absolutely unbelievable, and so now I guess we're gonna, in terms for the Grizzlies to get a second lottery pick, we're gonna have to root for the Charlotte Hornets and the Warriors, which. There's a lot less fun teams to have to ride with. I mean, at least we get some fun ones.
Hey, give me Draymond versus Dylan in a losing leaves town match.
Oh my God!
Come on, bro. Come on.
Did you see Dylan Brooks? Did you see his video this morning?
He posted a video.
Oh my God!
What did he post?
Dylan the Villain apparel.
Let me go look.
Yeah, it's like a whole like Dark Knight Rises type video for his. I mean, I guess he's got to get this. He's got to sell this merch before they lose.
Who is buying that crap?
Right?
It's on his IG.
Right. Yeah, it's on his IG.
191 collabs at Phoenix. Dylan Brooks line.
Jared Weiss has been covering the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama all year. He joins us. He from The Athletic. Jared! You got me? Oh, no. What happened to his audio?
He's like smiling. Oh, no.
You got to turn your mic on.
My mic's on.
There you go. I got you now.
There we go.
I got you now. How you doing?
Man, I'm getting ready for going to Portland. Oh, well.
Oh, come on. All right, yeah, well, let's start with that, right? So you've been on this San Antonio beat throughout the year. They drew Portland. I have no idea what happened between San Antonio and Portland this year. Like, outside of, I can look at a box score, but I can't tell you the story about these. So is there anything I need to know? Is there a possibility Portland makes this harder than people predicted?
Well, what's funny is Wemby didn't play in either or any of the 3 matchups. So
gotcha.
We have no idea here,
No
but
idea.
I'm going to imagine that they will probably be a lot better against Portland with Wemby in there. So I would be impressed if Portland could steal a win in this series. I mean, their defense has been really good the second half of the season. They've got a guy, one of the few guys that can physically match up against Wemby in the entire league, and Donovan Clingan. And hey, even Rob Williams will be helpful. And Denny Avdia is big and strong. Like Jrue Holiday obviously is probably the strongest guy pound for pound in the league. The Blazers have lots of guys that are effective against Wembanyama defensively. I just don't know if they can really create offense reliably when Wemby's in the paint, considering like the Blazers' whole thing is they're a transition team and they get to the rack. And a lot of the Denny Avdia stuff that works against most teams probably won't work nearly as well against Wemby.
Why will youth not be a problem for the Spurs? Or will it?
It will, in that guys like Victor, Steph Castle, Dylan Harper, players who have been like really successful getting into the paint throughout the regular season, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get into the paint against, especially like Portland, who's such a physical defense. So I think offensively, a lot of the Spurs offense, why they've been so good as of late, has been that they've just had lots of space to work with, whether it's teams having trouble figuring out how do we send enough bodies at Victor, or teams just like not knowing how they want to rotate out to the shooters on San Antonio and prevent them from getting into the paint, knowing how to deal with De'Aaron Fox being just like so difficult to manage in space. He's just so good at finding little nooks and crannies within the defense. A lot of that stuff is it's not going to go away, but it's going to be a lot harder for San Antonio to take advantage of over and over and over again. But also, like, they had a lot of easy wins, and there's just not that many easy wins to be had in the playoffs. But I'm not too worried about San Antonio getting to the second round. I think they've been pretty consistent for months and months now. It's just obviously like they're going to probably run into Denver in round 2, and Denver has been the one team that's been able to beat them consistently this year.
I don't think anybody knows anything. Why did Wemby not play in that last game if that meant they could have stayed away from Denver in the second round?
I talked to guys on both sides of those teams, and they were all like, health is the only thing we care about. And frankly, if you look at NBA, at least recent NBA history, while matchup definitely matters a lot, it's really health that matters. It's the champion is usually the team that's still intact at the end of the run. Like that's it. It's either you have an all-time transcendent performance from a GOAT level player, or your team is just healthy at the very end. And that's what these guys are prioritizing. And, that's been the ethos with Denver for a while now, especially with Jokic and Jamal Murray. And that was a very resounding message coming from their camp ahead of that game, was like, listen, we're resting all of our guys because we know we just got to be intact. We know we're good enough to win. And with Wemby, it's like, Wemby just had that rib contusion. But
he had also just had 40, right?
Yeah, but that game, it mattered for sure, but I think the Spurs are confident they can beat anybody. And frankly, you're probably going to have to go through Oklahoma and Denver if you're going to win the West. And so the order of how that happens, whatever.
Gotcha. What do I need to know about Mitch Johnson? I feel like he might be the coach that people know the least about. Right? Like when we think about the conversation about San Antonio is all Wemby, and then it's Castle and Fox and all these other guys, maybe even Keldon Johnson. But the conversation's nobody ever talks about San Antonio's coach, which is kind of crazy considering he took over for the elder statesman in Popovich. What do I need to know about Mitch Johnson? Because this will be his first run through as well in the playoffs.
I mean, the ethos is the same as far as not really doing one-on-one media. He obviously talks to the media pretty much every single day before and after the games, and occasionally at practices. But he hasn't done much media outside of that, and so getting to know him deep and personally has been hard to come by. I mean, the thing that stands out with him is he's so level in that. He obviously just emotional regulation. He's very level. He's not one of those coaches that calls his team out publicly kind of stuff, really holds their feet to the fire. Although there hasn't really been a time that they've needed to do that so far this year. But one thing that's really stood out is when he praises his players, he's pretty measured in it. And when he criticizes his players, he almost avoids doing that. There's been times where I've teed him up to throw somebody under the bus, and he was just not going to do it. He'll completely pivot to talking about the group as a whole. There's been times where he's asked about Wemby and about hey, Wemby's the greatest defender ever, right? And he'll be like, when Wemby's in a defensive stance, he's the best defender in the world. And so he always throws that little caveat there to keep challenging his guys, which is true. Wemby is the best defender in the world as far as his overall impact, but there are plenty of plays where he's a little disengaged or he messes up or whatever, like many young defenders have. And so Mitch has just been he's kept the ball in the middle so consistently with this team, and it's kind of been their personality that no matter who's going that night, they always have enough guys on that they're able to win very consistently.
Do they think that this has been overachievement? The fact that they were projected to win, 44 and a half,
44,
which would have been a big step up. It would have been a step up from last year. I know that they punted at the end and Wemby didn't play after he had the blood clot or whatever. But they went to 62 this year. Do you think is this are they looking at it wow, I can't believe this happened so fast, or that this was the hey, this is the way it broke?
I mean, a little bit of both. Like they're not stupid. They know that this is probably one of the biggest overachievement seasons we've had in recent memory. I mean, they're like the 4th team to go from missing the playoffs to winning 60 wins overnight. Like the last team to do that, I think, was the Celtics when they won the title in 2008. And that team traded for KG and Ray Allen. Like this team, they signed Luke Cornett. Like that was it. Like they just had one of the most incredible development seasons, and also they got Victor back. But they and they drafted Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, who have been good players off the bench for them in the second half. I think the big thing with them is that they said entering the year they were trying to make the playoffs. That was the goal they were stating. And even if that was being humble and like being conservative, the gap between like Wemby saying we want to make the 6th seed, which was bold, to like they almost had the best record in the league, and 62 wins is usually the best record in the league. It's just been an exceptional year at the top of the league. They know that they have come together faster than expected. And I think what's important there is that it hasn't been necessarily like one guy has carried all of that. Like as amazing of a season as Wemby has had, pretty much every single player on this team is either having a career year or they have fit into their role exceptionally well. So, like, Devin Vassell is having a very good year, and he's someone that coming into the year, a lot of people are asking, like, what's his future with the team because they have so many wings. He's making a lot of money, and Devin Vassell is, like, proven to be worth what he's making. He's been really good for them. Stephon Castle has, like, very quickly become everyone's, like, NBA insider's favorite player in the game because he's a two-way menace. We could spend 10 minutes going through how everybody has had a good year. And even Harrison Barnes, who after being one of the hottest shooters in the league has been cold most of the season and got demoted, even he's been like a great vet for the team. He's been really reliable, at least like with his decision making and his two-way play coming off the bench. And he's still a productive member of this team. So they've gotten the most out of everybody in their core rotation. Carter Bryant has stepped in as like the 9th man, and he's actually been pretty solid for them in the second half as a guy who like just turned 20 pretty recently. So it's just everything is clicking well for them. Everyone's playing well, and it's very reminiscent of Oklahoma last year. Where like last year, OKC, every single player in that rotation took a nice step forward in their career, and that's what the Spurs are experiencing now.
One guy that you didn't mention, or maybe you did in passing, was the presumptive, I think, 6th man of the year is going to be Keldon Johnson, right? Did Keldon Johnson, has he always been like this, like, everybody loves him leader and nobody particularly recognized that? Or did he become that? Because I swear to God, I've gotten all kinds of Keldon Johnson. Not only has he been fantastic, he also just feels like the heartbeat, heart and soul of that team in ways that, teams that you covered in the past, like Marcus Smart was for Boston or Tony Allen was for the Grizzlies, like he seems like he's like the guy.
Those are the two guys I've covered that remind me the most of him. It's, I mean, I spent most of my career covering Marcus Smart. You've covered Marcus, and I mean, obviously it did work out for him in Memphis. Marcus, yeah, exactly. Marcus was the heart and soul of he was the heart and soul of those Celtics teams for so long. And, Marcus was difficult to fit into a system because he was a maximal player. He was always doing the most. And so obviously like that had lots of rough edges to it. It was tricky to fit, but like he always proved himself to be worth all of it, just like how Draymond Green does in Golden State. And Marcus, to his credit, like no matter how the fit was looking from time to time, like that dude cared about winning more than anybody I'd ever been around, basically, and put more on the line than anyone I'd been around. And Keldon plays the same way. And his number one skill is ferocity on the court. His number one skill off the court is he's just like always happy. He's always yelling. Yesterday at practice, I was trying to talk to someone. I couldn't focus because he kept screaming "arf, arf" like a seal the entire time from across like a 400-foot wide basketball arena, and I could still hear him like he was in my ear. Like this guy's presence is unavoidable, and like that's what you need to get through a difficult season is someone who just won't shut the hell up. And
he's always a good mood, huh? Like he's just
always
energy.
in a good mood.
Yeah.
And you talk to him, he's such a down-to-earth, kind, fun, happy-go-lucky guy. And you go across that locker room, and you ask everybody there, especially the younger guys, like, who has really helped you here? And all of them have some story about how Keldon like believed in them when they didn't believe in themselves, and his unrelenting belief in them is what got them the confidence so that they could play the way they're playing. Wow. So like that I think is the main case for him to be sixth man of the year, is that like his work he's doing off the court and, you know, in between the lines, away from the play, like the intangibles he brings to the team leadership wise are like off the charts and some of the best that I've been around.
What's his deal? He like raises animals and stuff too, right? Like he wears a
he's got himself a little
hat
ranch up in Texas Hill Country. I got to go pay it a visit. I'm still a little itchy from whatever rash I picked up while I was out there.
What is there?
He's got he's got 2 llamas now, because that was a big thing during the NBA Cup. He's got himself 2 llamas. They're named Bonnie and Clyde. He actually just like finally got them right before we got there.
You say llamas?
He said llamas.
Oh, I said llamas. Yeah, there's a whole story during the NBA Cup where he was like, I'm going to buy some llamas if I win the NBA Cup with the prize money.
And that's what he did.
Well, it turned out, I think the llamas only cost like a few grand. Like, I think any of us could probably afford a llama if we really, truly wanted to. I don't think it was that crazy expensive. But he's got like a herd of, I think they're pygmy goats, so like tiny little goats running around. There's 2 horses named Moo Moo and Forrest, who were wonderful. And there's, I think it was 3 cows, and I think one of them was a baby calf as well. So he's got like a nice little collection going there. And it was honestly, one of my favorite days of the season was just going up there on the farm. The wind's blowing in my hair. We're sitting on a dock. Our feet are dangling over the pond, just looking out at the hill country. I'm like, this is the serenity that, like, he talked about how the serenity that he finds being on the farm, being with the animals, that gives him the balance that allows him to bring the energy that he brings every single time that he's around pretty much any human being ever.
All right, they got some characters on this team. All right, so let me ask you about the biggest character, which I swear to God I've played probably, what do you think? We've played at least 6 or 7 different times. It's been some kind of Wemby quote that we've pulled, that we've played on the show to converse about. And I know you're the one that's asked the question, right? The last of which was about the MVP thing, where it was obvious that you had a conversation with him inside the locker room and then tried to bring that public to see if he would, you know, expand on what he had obviously confided in you or talked to you about, which was that he does care about these awards and he does care about winning the MVP. Thus, he was willing to make his case on that. You go down there and you're going to cover this guy, and obviously, I'm sure you read all the backstories and you watched all the stuff about him. What he is like versus what you thought you were going to be covering when you went to go get on the Wemby beat?
I think that he's more earnest than I could have expected, because we don't get that very much these days. Like, Ant was very groundbreaking when he was just super earnest, didn't give a crap, would say whatever he wanted. Victor he's not as like careless and cavalier in what he's talking about the way that Ant does. And he's also, I think there's an irony to Ant is actually kind of humble in a lot of ways. We're like, when we asked him about the whole face of the league thing, he was like, Wemby can have it. I'm not built for that. I just want to be me. And so I think Ant is like, when he gets like pwned, he's like, yeah, I got, like, and he's happy about it. Victor, I mean, he's honest and earnest, but he also has that competitive edge. He's incredibly serious, but he lets his guard down every once in a while. And so there's been more balance to his personality than I expected. And he's like, he runs very hot and cold, where like sometimes I'll want to say hi and he just like blows it off, and then sometimes we'll have like a very fascinating conversation and he's super engaged. I think just with him, every moment is valuable to him. He values time in a way that most people don't, especially like a 22-year-old. And I think a big part of that is for him, like, the best way to explain it is he spends hours and hours and hours a day on recovery, activation, mindfulness, everything to take care of himself. He is so regimented every day. He is so dedicated and regimented to taking care of himself. It's probably as dedicated as anyone I've ever seen. And that's because it's the only way that he can be who he is. For his body to hold up and do the things it does, it requires a 24/7 job of him taking care of it. And so because of that, there were times where his brain is just in a different place. And maybe it's because he's communicating with the aliens back at the mothership. I don't know exactly. But he's operating at a different level than most people. And there's probably many other athletes, especially in the NBA, that are in the same stratosphere of what he is doing as far as their mindset and their mentality. But I think
have you ever
cares
been around
about
one?
It and understands it. Not quite.
Because you covered like big stars in Boston, and obviously like all these guys that are amazing, they've obviously become very good at time management. They've been very good, like almost all of them. There's very few that are just laissez-faire, like like it's usually this. Like I heard some podcast where Donovan Mitchell, I mean his shit is down to the minute. It's like at 6:01 I do this, at 6:07 I do this, at 6:52 I do this, and it's like it sounds like that's kind of the Wemby thing.
It's funny. It presents an interesting question because the first guys I think about with that are Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for players that I've covered. They're both insane with the way that they take care of their bodies, and Tatum just proved it with his comeback, which is shocking to the world, and to me it's like a little surprising. But everything I know about him, everything I've written about him, I'm not surprised. The guy's a maniac. I do wonder. Do we think that of these stars because they just get more coverage and therefore the stories about what they do, and also because they probably have a little bit more resources and they have like more people dedicated to taking care of them? Is it just because they're stars we know that they're doing this more, or is it that a big part of why they're stars is because they do all these things?
It's the latter.
Yeah.
Probably. It is the latter. This guy covered all kinds of guys. That's not how. I promise you, that is not how Zach Randolph operated. You know what I mean? That's just not. And I mean, that would be crazy to him. You know what I mean? It would be crazy. Like, I mean, and there's all kinds of guys. They have different ways of doing it, right? There's different ways of doing it, but many of them that are at the highest level, I'll bet you Ant doesn't either. Hell, I watch him on Netflix. I bet the same way that some of these guys are hot tub, cold tub, this and this and this and this. Like, some of them are blessed. Iverson was like that too. I think Ant's probably playing PlayStation with his buddies at 10 o'clock when some of these guys are doing yoga and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
guys
there's different ways to do it.
Yeah, guys like Steph and LeBron obviously they were kind of pioneering a lot of this stuff. I think the big difference these days is that the nature of the way the game is played, because your conditioning has to be at a totally different level than it had to be 5, even 10 years, or 10 years ago. Maybe
that's
5 years
absolutely
ago.
true.
And because injuries are so much more frequent, because the game is full of it's more fatigue, bigger collisions, bigger changes of direction, more sprinting back and forth on defense. I just think that if you want to be a great player these days, conditioning is a bigger skill than it's ever been.
It seemed like he was the kind of guy that was like, when he first came in, it was framed like the same way that you and I might be walking down and we got our head in a phone. He's got his head in a book, like kind of guy, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, if you walked in the locker room, is he on his phone like everybody else is on their phone, or is he really like just like not that guy? Like, no. He really does. He have a phone?
He does. He does have a book with him at all time. He loves fantasy novels. Brian Sanderson, he reads a lot of his stuff, which I don't read fantasy novels, so it doesn't mean much to me, but I know it does to everyone that I know that reads fantasy novels. But when he comes back in the locker room, right before he runs out, and he's one of those players that he sprints out to the court and he sprints back from the court to the locker room whenever he does his pregame stuff. So that's always a good sign that someone is locked in. But when he comes back in the room, usually he sits there, he meditates, and then he sprints out. Like, he is locked in. There's been a few times where I've been like, hey, do you have a second? I'll be like, no, after the game. Like, he is extremely locked in. You ask people around him, and they're like, yeah, I don't talk to him before games on game days. Like, he stays locked in. And he gets out there. He is meticulous and focused with his pregame workouts on the floor. You know, obviously sometimes he jokes around and like he's letting loose a little bit, but that dude is as locked in as almost anyone I've been around. I think Jaylen Brown's the only player I can think of that I've seen that is just like quiet. I can see him meditating. I can see him doing all sorts of things mentally to keep himself in the zone before the game. Like that. Those are the two I've been around the most that just seem to like really lock into their own world, and you can see it in the way that they carry themselves.
But Jaylen even has an awareness of the world that is going on, like the NBA conversation, right? When he got thrown out of that game earlier this year, he went to the locker room and tweeted about it, right? So like,
he's a streamer now. He's doing post-game streams.
Yeah, and he's doing streams and whatever else, right? Like, is Wemby on? I know he has accounts, but do you think he has an awareness when his comments go viral, or an article that you wrote about him is excerpted and people are all talking about it? Or like, You know what I'm saying? Like, is he a normal 22-year-old in the sense that he is aware of the conversation that surrounds him and is on social media, even if he's not active himself?
Well, I know that when I came and introduced myself at the beginning of the season, I told him I was there to cover him and the team. He told me he wasn't going to read anything I wrote because he doesn't read that stuff. And I told him, I promise you I'm going to read something that you're going to be like, that was such a great story. I really enjoyed that. So we'll see. I mean, I did a feature on the fan team that he started, the Jackals. So hopefully he read that story. But I think he tunes that stuff out. I don't think he looks at social. I think while you and I are doom scrolling, he's finding Nirvana sitting in a pretzel pose somewhere hanging upside down in the dark room.
That's really, that's not an act. Like, you think that's really, you don't think he goes home and scrolls?
I think he must at some point. I think he has probably people that will share that stuff with him. But I do, from everything I know about him, I think he's pretty locked in on his own life and his own journey. And like, when you're at that level, why are you doing that, man? Like, that's what I never understood about KD and LeBron and these guys that are clearly so online, is the life that they live is so remarkable, and there's so many things that they have at their doorstep that, like, why concern yourself with the conversations out there?
That's fair.
It's like, obviously you have to, like, your legacy is important.
Yeah,
and
right.
you know, especially these days, legacies evolve and distort so rapidly, and they're almost always BS. And like, I was just watching a Dave Chappelle interview with NPR where he was talking about these kind of things, about how, like, the media reaction, the social reaction to what happened oftentimes is a mischaracterization of the full context of what happened. And so I wouldn't, if I were these guys, I wouldn't want to get lost in what's out there, because so much of it is missing context. And even if I do a great job of capturing context, by the time my stuff gets cycled through the aggregation machine to reach Legion Hoops or whatever it might be, it's probably going to be stripped of a lot of the nuance and context anyway. And so you just gotta avoid it if you're at that level. And I think he does that pretty successfully. And we'll see how long that lasts, because right now he has the infinites of time on his side. But like, I'm 35 now, and now I'm like, I probably should be thinking about my legacy and having some sort of pace and structure to my life and all these kind of things, because I'm probably not going to live forever at this point. And at some point through failure,
he's wearing off on you.
Yeah, the 22-year-old seems to be a lot about life.
Wemby too much. You're thinking about the big picture already.
I mean, he's a big picture. It gets you to think about it every day.
I feel like you have gotten great access to him. Are you just making the most of the little access that you do get, or have you actually gotten, because that has always been a Spurs thing, is that they've been very difficult. Like, you know, even one of our PR guys years ago was a former Spurs guy. And I was like, what was it like there? And he's like, it was like we'd have 4 media members show up. They'd come in. He'd say, who do you want after practice? They'd say Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. And he'd go, okay, you get DeJuan Blair and Matt Bonner. Like, they just, you know, like that. And they almost pride themselves on being difficult. You know what I mean? And yet I feel like you're constantly, you know, getting availability with him. And they have not hidden him or made him unavailable.
I really enjoy working with them. I think I told them the other day, like, they probably win my vote for PR team I'd want to get a beer with the most in the NBA, but they might not be the team that the most accessible PR team in the league award, because I think the Pistons PR staff just got that award from the PBWA. Congrats to them. They have their Spurs way, right? And you have to respect it, and you have to work with it. And at least in my experience, this has been the best locker room experience I've ever had covering in the NBA.
Wow.
I can go up to pretty much everybody and talk to them whenever I want, and all the players have been really great to me. It's been a wonderful experience. And even when I've gotten chewed out by people, they heard me out, and then we moved forward, and we're good. So it's been the exact experience I would hope for from a locker room access perspective. I mean, I got Victor one-on-one, which was a pleasant surprise earlier this year. I got him for like 20 minutes for that Jackal story I did. And, you know, he doesn't do many one-on-ones. He's probably done a handful of one-on-ones in the last few years, at least like sit-downs with writers. It's pretty rare. So I'm grateful that him and his team and the Spurs were willing to give me the opportunity to do the story. And I think the story proved to be worthwhile. So it's been a good experience. And frankly, for as much as I wish we could just like do, on the sides with Wemby all the time. And there's not that many stars that are doing that coming into the league these days. Like access is it's completely crumbled. And, there was that wave of player-led media when like Players Tribune came out and all these guys started doing their own pods and all that kind of stuff. And, I think that, now we're kind of at like the peak of that bubble and we'll see where it goes from there. So I'm interested to see if like the players kind of swaying away from independent media and going towards player-driven media, if that pendulum is going to swing back a little bit in the near future. But I think that like there's a better understanding now that we're far enough from COVID and just all of the social change that caused and all the distrust that caused. I think we're getting back to a better place of trust between the media and the players, and hopefully that'll continue to grow.
You did cover a team that had championship DNA, won the title in Boston, right? What is different about covering a team in San Antonio versus covering the team in Boston?
It's a good question. I mean, this San Antonio team is just different from anything I've experienced. Like in Boston, huge media contingency. When the door opens to the locker room, before there was the tier 1, it was like 20 people walking in. The locker room was crowded. It's a little bit lighter now that we have like tier 1 media that has access to the locker room and tier 2 media that just goes to the podium press conferences. But like the Boston locker room has generally always been a very quiet place whenever the media is there, and it isn't the kind of lively atmosphere that San Antonio has. So it's been easier for me to be able to just be engaged in conversations with the players, go up to players and get little bits and pieces here or there that I need from them so that I can do the stories that I want to do. So it's been a very revelatory experience. And I guess that's part of the experience being in a smaller market where there's not as many reporters. But there are lots of like the other Spurs reporters are really damn good. Like between Mike Wright at ESPN, all the guys at the Express News, like there's some other great reporters. So I have a lot of like serious competition to try to put out the best quality work because they're doing it every single day as well, on top of like all the other reporters that are there. So it's still like a competitive landscape. But as far as like, I guess to answer your question, the Spurs have this fun factor to them that you see on a few teams in the league every single season. And most of the time, those teams are mediocre teams that aren't playing for much. I think the irony of the Spurs is there's usually like one or two teams that are true contenders that are like genuinely having tons of fun in the locker room. And like the Thunder, I guess, have been that for a little while. And you can see that in the Spurs. And that's what makes me like pretty, I think, optimistic that when times get tough for them in the postseason, they're going to have the togetherness to be able to push through it.
It's an odd group. What's the music like?
It's whatever Keldon Johnson's in the mood for.
I know, but he's like kind of country, right?
Yeah,
like
he's a country
he
got Morgan Wallen playing in the locker room.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know country, honestly, so I can't even tell you when it's Morgan Wallen. He does really play everything. Like he got famous at the beginning of the season for playing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, like that, like cute, not early 2000s pop stuff. But like he'll play like a mix of everything, but he seems to really love like old school, like 90s and 2000s, like pop, R&B stuff that like you, like as a kid, you were belting at the top of your lungs, driving in your car with your permit, all that kind of stuff.
But he's the vibes,
so that tends to be it. Yeah, but it changes. It does change.
Over your shoulder, as we've been doing this interview, I can't help but notice there's a picture of Drew Holiday. It is going to be a little odd for you when you roll up in this San Antonio, Portland. You see Drew Holiday and Time Lord, right?
I'm excited for it. I haven't seen those guys in a while. I'm looking forward to catching up with them. They were both great to me when they were in Boston. So those are two of the guys I really enjoyed covering.
I will say atmosphere-wise, like San Antonio, they haven't been in the playoffs since, 18-19 was the last year they were in a playoff series. Mm-hmm. And Portland hasn't been to the playoffs in 4 to 5 years. Like small markets, like these crowds are going to be awesome.
Oh, I bet you're right, Rose.
Crowds are going to be amazing.
San Antonio crowds always.
Yeah,
I bet you're right.
Sure.
I mean, this city has been like dying for this for a while, and with the Spurs fans, ever since Wemby got there, there's been this slight thing in the back of their heads of like, we're about to witness something truly special. I mean, they're familiar with it, right? They had the Tim Duncan era. And there's been this anticipation buzzing over and over. And it's that thing that if you can remember what a playoff game feels like, Verno. Actually, how long has it been now for Memphis?
Shut up.
Damn, man.
God,
So
how dare you?
when you get into a big time playoff game, the second you walk in there, there's this level of like room noise that's just so elevated. There's this buzz. And it's funny, if you think about it, you're like, what is that noise? I don't even understand what it is. But it's just like there's this hum that's higher than the background room noise of like a regular season game. And you have felt that throughout this season with the Spurs, that it gets louder and louder and louder as they realize what they're witnessing with Wemby and this team is going to be increasingly more and more special and important and like historically significant and a huge moment in their lives. Cause this is the transcendent ascendancy moment of like, we're about to witness the start of an era, and we'll see what this era brings. It certainly seems like it's going to bring a lot of championships, or at least, I mean, you can't say that these days. There hasn't been a repeat champion in almost a decade. So it's going to probably bring a championship at some point, but also because of Wemby's health issues that he's had in the past, because of the way that he's built, there's also this kind of fear and tension that you have no idea it could come crumbling down at any moment. And so that suspense has just brought out this energy from the fan base that we've seen. Like, I've been pleasantly surprised that, you know, when the season started, the arena was like somewhat full and somewhat loud, but it wasn't quite nuts. In the second half of the season, for these big games, it's been like, it reminds me of being back in Boston, which is like just about the craziest crowd I've ever been around. And like, I would pull out like the noise app on my Apple Watch, and it would, in the fourth quarter of an NBA Finals game, it's hitting like 110, 115 decibels, like legit, like hearing damage stuff. Like, I wear earplugs at the games because I would go deaf if I wasn't. Like, I was getting tinnitus for a while when I wasn't using earplugs. Like, it's seriously loud in those arenas. And like the Frost Bank Center is like getting towards that level, and I'm really interested to see what it's like in the playoffs. And same thing in Portland, where like there was obviously concern that that team might be moved depending on what happened with the sale, and it looks like they're going to stay in Portland, it seems. And so I think there's probably going to be this feeling from the fans of like, we get to keep our team. Now we're also taking a step forward where this looks like they're going to probably be a playoff team for a while now as they continue to grow. So this is also the start of something special for them, even if for the Blazers fans, this is more like, how much can we test this great young Spurs team to give ourselves hope that we're going to grow in the future, rather than the Spurs who are like, this is the start of a bona fide title run. That's our expectation right now.
Last thing, forget basketball. I'm asking, this is you personally. You like it down there?
Yeah. I mean, I got my little plant over my shoulder here. I got a nice apartment. I live in the Pearl District in San Antonio, which is honestly like one of my favorite neighborhoods I've been to in the country. It's got everything I could want. There's the culture here is rich. Like, I love Mexico, and so living in San Antonio, like, you often feel like you're living in Mexico, which has been great for me. And I'm also a 2-hour flight from Mexico City, which is one of my favorite places on earth. So I get to go there and visit whenever I have downtime, which hasn't happened in a few months and probably won't happen for another few months. But it's been good. It's been, as someone who travels like half of the month, if not 2/3 of the month, it's been a very good home base for me, and I've really enjoyed it. I just went over to a friend's house and played Scrabble while watching the play-in games last night. I can't remember the last time I did anything like that. So I've been insanely busy. I lost in Scrabble, unsurprisingly. He's a professional, so I wasn't surprised. But give me 3 things you really like about San Antonio. I like, look, we're in a small market. I like promoting these small markets. It's better than what people would give them credit for.
I thought you were just going to say San Antonio was warm and Boston was cold as hell.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one of them. I mean, number one for me is like Mexican culture. That was my biggest draw here. It's what I really love about it here. And obviously that's been like a storyline in the last few months. I was driving on the highway, and did you guys see the crazy Hispanic fan like thing that happened here last month?
Yeah. People overlooking the chick text thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's, long story short, for people who don't know, there was an older lady that was caught texting in like gigantic font on her phone about how there's crazy Hispanic fans and asking how can they afford seats. And what I loved about the response was people showed up to the next game, wearing shirts that said crazy Hispanic fan. And I did a story interviewing them, and they're like, we embraced it. Like, that's part of our culture, is that like when people make fun of us, we take it on the cheek and we embrace it, and we respond to that with pride. And that's a big thing I've seen out of the people here in San Antonio. And they both do that, and they're incredibly warm and welcoming. It's been one of the most welcoming communities I've ever been a part of. I guess number 2, the food is there's some really good food here. Like you go to the hood and find a hole in the wall taco spot and you're like, holy crap, I feel like I'm back in Mexico. Like stuff like that is really great. And then, yeah, I guess 3 is, I was sitting on my balcony in the middle of January, like, watering my plants, reading a book, listening to music, while back in Boston, all my friends were shoveling snow. Like, that was incredible. That was unbelievable. And I'm only like an hour and a half from Austin, which is one of the most fun cities in the country. And like, I'm a huge house music person, love dancing, and they have one of the best clubs in the country, the Concourse Project. They got amazing acts. So like, being able to have all that down the street from me, I've spent a lot of time there with my family and friends up there. So it's actually been like really nice. Oh, and one bonus thing, the airport is like 7 minutes from my house, and there's no one in line whenever I show up. So I leave for the airport like when my flight starts boarding, and I still get there when they're calling my group. So that has been the best experience.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. Well, man, we've been reading and keeping up with it all year long, and you caught a wave here, right? Like, there's nothing more fun than covering a fun team. There's nothing, right? Like, I mean, we're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum this year. So we get. I lived through you by reading your stuff on The Athletic. I'm like, I used to feel like this is so fun. And you see, like, they got the vibes in the locker room, and they're doing the stuff after the game. And I'll tell you this, there was a bazillion kids wearing Wemby jerseys here. Yeah. Like, that wave happened fast. Way fast. There was very few last year. This year, oh my God, the kids showed up to watch Wemby, Jared. They did. He's a wave.
I can't remember an athlete in this country going from like a bunch of people know he's going to be really good to like face of the league and like global star overnight the way that.
Well, we had one for a minute.
Pretty insane. Yeah.
He honestly, I mean, Devin will tell you. Every city we went to, Morant was.
Oh, it was really.
He was a rock star.
It was insanity.
It was like Iverson-esque, right? Like, I mean, they were wearing the jersey in every market.
Showing up early to the game.
It was a way until he got into trouble. Like when he was on that ascent. I mean, there wasn't a game you would watch on TV and you wouldn't see thousands of Morant jerseys, and it just. I don't think it'll probably happen the same way with Wemby. but who knows? Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the one irony with Morant is that even though his like star has completely fallen off, he has the best shoe in the league right now.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
The new shoe is insane. It's my favorite shoe I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's so good.
Top 7 worn shoe in the league this year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Minute-wise. So shout out to John.
All right, Jared, you're the best. Thank you, buddy.
You're the best. Thank you, buddy.
My man. Jared Weiss from The Athletic joining us. Boy, he is covering the one this year, right? They're the fun one.
Yes.
They're the fun one. The San Antonio. And God, I mean... Again, they got a lot of likable guys, too. I mean, how much do we love
It's
Castle?
massive for him, too.
You know what I mean?
Just for Jared. It's massive. When you have a player like that you get to cover that is that popular.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's...
Because people want Wemby content.
People want Wemby content.
You know what I mean?
They hits, bro.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean?
I forgot about the whole, like, Hispanic fan thing. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
They showed up like, yo. That's a real small market fan base.
I've only been there one time. I really liked it, though.
It's a nice arena. It's kind of off in the cut a little bit, but it's a nice
like the
arena.
Riverwalk. I went obviously in 08.
I heard the city's amazing.
When Memphis went to the Final Four.
Amazing is a stretch.
Like, it's a nice city.
It's a nice city.
Like, it's a good city.
But I will tell you, I'll tell you the craziest thing ever was, my whole life you hear about the Alamo, and I was a big Pee Wee fan, like Pee Wee's Big Adventure fan. So like his bike being in the basement at the Alamo, like, I mean, I've thought about the Alamo my whole. And so anyways, one time, this is in 2008, and when Memphis played in the Final Four there, and I just go out walking, like downtown, River Walk, then walk. It's a very, very walkable city.
Yeah,
super I'm walking walkable. Up, and I'm walking up to like Walgreens. Like there's like, just in the city. I was just walking up the street downtown, the Walgreens. And I'm like, there's like a Walgreens and there's this and there whatever. And then I like look up and like 100 yards that way is like this like stone bridge looking thing, and it's like the Alamo, and I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
That's what.
Who's the Alamo?
That's what Azzi.
I walked over to it. I like started walking around. I was like,
it's in the
is
most
just
random
not
place.
what I
Yeah,
thought
right,
this-
right.
It would be like if it was Handy Park.
No,
Yeah.
for real. Like you
Like,
turn,
really?
you look to the right, and it's like right there, just hanging out.
It's just in the middle
There's
of
no
the city.
there's no sign that says like this is the Alamo. Like it's just
Yeah.
like there.
I was like, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
That's the Alamo. Remember it. All right,
Those
let's
two
take a-
places I love when we go to San Antonio, Voodoo Donuts,
Oh, yeah.
and we used to go to.
But that's a Portland thing.
yeah, but they got one in San Antonio that's gas, and Hooters.
Hooters?
Yeah, bro. We go platinum.
What do you do? Get tacos from Hooters in
Me-
San
Yeah,
Antonio?
No, he gets the ribs.
Me, Hasselton, and fish, baby.
All right.
Shout out.
Enough already. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap this thing up on the other side. Chris Vernon Show.
The Tennessee Army National Guard, you can start a career in exciting fields, including science, communications, engineering, and medicine, all while earning money for your education. This training will boost your eligibility for a high-paying and rewarding profession. And you can get it all while serving part-time in your community. The Tennessee Army National Guard can pay for up to 100% of your college tuition. To learn more, visit nationalguard.com.t-n.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
When the arena lights dim for a concert or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person who will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's a person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to give you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let other fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
With living in luxury at Southland Casino Hotel, the good life is closer than you think. Members get one entry with every 100 points earned playing on their Lucky North Rewards card, plus one free entry daily. Win free play at our hourly drawings, and don't miss our Saturday grand prize drawings in March. You could win a home theater package, premium massage chair, an outdoor jacuzzi, and $250,000 cash. Luxurious prizes await at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
25 years of history. Going back to where it all started. B2K is back. The Millennium Tour presents the Boys for Life Tour. Wow,
Still, I ain't impressed because ain't none of them at all.
Boys for Life. Also starring Pretty Ricky, B5, Young Jock, Crime Mob, A. Marie, and Franchise Boys. April 26th, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Presented by the Black Promoters Collective.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced its 2026 inductees. Among the headliners, Oasis. And I'm assuming your favorite, Iron Maiden.
I dabble.
Oasis is the biggest act here.
I don't know, man. Iron Maiden.
Bro, they just did a stadium tour.
So does Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden's not doing a stadium tour in the year 2026. They're playing Minglewood Hall.
No, they are not.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
Throwing dead presidents. Look alive. Party is the evidence. It's a vibe.
Grizzlies fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with their pest-free 365 plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com and enter the code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies. Speaking of the Grizzlies, front page of ESPN.com. Inside the end of the Ja Morant era in Memphis.
I love when you read it like in a dramatic tone.
Yeah, it's by Tim McMahon. I read the article, and it's like basically, here, you want me to do the Cliff Notes? They weren't able to trade him. They are going to be able to trade him during the summer because teams are going to be interested. There's anonymous quotes from executives saying that somebody, that doesn't get lucky in the draft or misses out on Giannis will take a crack at him. Yeah. It chronicles what went wrong here. And I think the one thing that's the one thing that's in there that is a little bit interesting that he at least, it's something that is not brought up all that much because he does not even bring up the whole contract thing. So that's why about how, they kind of, he wanted an extension before the season. They went back to them in January, and when that wasn't going to happen, whatever. So that's always kind of been a thing that's hanging out there. But the thing that is interesting about this one is because he even says McMahon obviously caught up with some former coaches, et cetera, that he was so mega pissed off about being suspended after that Lakers game.
He never let it go.
That he never let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was I'll never play for them again. Because they obviously stood up for Isolo in that spot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and look.
And the part too where they said that other guys were kind of frustrated about the Isolo stuff, not just John.
Right.
Yeah.
That that when he did, and again, I don't, honestly, him going to go ask coach, it's all my fault. That kind of stuff happens. My problem was not that, honestly. It's not good, but that stuff can be just sifted through. My problem was that he quit.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. You can hate the coach. I trust me.
You're not the first player to hate a coach.
Bro, I've covered a million guys that didn't like the coach or the coach didn't like them.
Yeah.
A million. That's every team ever.
Yes.
There's somebody that doesn't like the coach. And look, it was always sideways, because that was within 10 games of the season. It was that he bailed on his teammates. I don't care what problem you have with the coach. You can't go and punt a game. We would have been in the play-in tournament. That was the game. You go back and look. We would have been there instead of the Lakers in the play-in tournament in Vegas if we would have won that game. A game they were up 14.
Yeah.
And he literally quit in the second half.
Halloween night.
It's a stain.
Yeah.
That's a stain. You know what I mean? Again, all I care about is the basketball. All I care about, you know what I mean? Y'all can do, Everybody can hate each other. Everybody can argue about stuff. I've been through all that, right? Like that's families. You know what I mean? And that's organizations. People are going to be mad at one time, but like that's how you get in a room and you can work that stuff out. But what you can't work out is the fact that you punted on your teammates. Like that was not I wasn't down with that. And so then you can't be mad when they suspend you, right? You can't. And that whole like basically I'm never playing for them again because they suspended me, bro. We don't have to rehash everything. Yeah. He got suspended for 25 games after the last time we were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We lost in the playoffs, and then he came back and he got suspended for 25 games after he had already gone and met with Adam Silver. They stood by him every step of the way through a lot of baloney. And that is chronicled in the article.
Yeah.
And so then as soon as like this happens, like that's so minor to that. I hope that's not the truth. I hope it's not the truth that once they suspended him, he was like, to hell with this franchise. Because that to me is, that's not good.
I don't think that's.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's what I went.
But I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Is here is like basic and like look, he did act like that. You know what I mean? He wasn't exactly all like we never got him all in.
No.
After that. And so look, it'll all be done this summer. And it's obvious, like, I mean, you know, I don't know how much inside the end of the Morant era, because there's not a ton of new information except for this grudge that was held about them suspending him. Like that was like a turning point, right? Like that's the moment where you're either going to back Isolo or you're going to back the player, and he probably feels like, you know, they should have stood by him. Not publicly embarrassed him. How about that? He probably felt publicly embarrassed by getting suspended. And he felt isolated from his teammates, he said. I guess that's how what he has said.
Yeah.
Other people, whatever. It's just, yeah. Look, it was all so messy, and it'll be done. Like it sucks, and I will forever have regrets. As I told you, I have no doubt. This is what I said. And I said this literally the entire year as I was watching it all unfold, and then we got to January, and then we watched it all unfold at a terrible moment, and after the European trip, and then we watched it unfold after he hurt his elbow, or you know, the Philly game, and then the game that he hurts his elbow and whatever. And it's like we just kept on this roller coaster of is everything going to be okay? Can this work out? And I just said he's got to be awesome and available, and things will work out if you want the contract, whatever. And it's like, but I told you from October on. And I hope I'm not right about this, but I told you all year, this will end, and everybody's going to look back in 4 years, and he's going to wish it wouldn't have been this way, and they're going to wish it wouldn't have been this way. And we'll all have regrets about the way it all happened.
I'll root for him either way.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I just don't.
Oh, I think
everybody,
both for
everybody,
sure.
Everybody will. You know what I mean? That moment that he comes back in wearing another jersey, it's gonna be like, bro, what happened?
Why is it this way?
Why is this way?
I got a feeling that.
I was saying that in real time as it was all happening. Like, bro, stop this crap. How can there not be a mediation here? How? You will get everything you want if you're cool, good teammate, healthy, and available, and awesome. Everything you want is in front of you, and you will get it all. And we will be more than happy to pay that, right? And then on the other side, whatever, let's figure this out. The gripes. You mean too much. Instead, none of it ever got worked out. Yeah. And it's all going to end with just this thud. Stinks. Every time a story like this comes out, it depresses me more. We are a week away from the NFL draft. Have you guys heard a word about this?
My Titans, bro.
Huh?
My Titans drafting what's the name? That's the only thing I heard about. I've been hearing about them drafting the kid from Notre Dame.
Yeah, I follow the Cowboys stuff, and they want what's my guy's name? Sonny.
They said you guys are going to move up.
Sonny, what's his name? What's the guy from
the dude
Ohio
from
State?
Ohio State? Yeah. Is it Styles or whatever?
Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
I want a Styles jersey.
Yeah.
Styles is a good jersey.
Yeah, that's what I want.
It's either him or that kid from Miami for the Titans.
It's a week away though. that one is going on. Also, do want to mention two things. First of which is the NBA caved like they usually do about things like I mean, now the 65 game rule, like, okay, that's fluid now. Like I don't have any problem with them doing the appeals, but it's like they don't stand on business.
They do not stand on
business.
business.
Let's just say that. They do not stand on business. Because Devin Booker played 64, so now what? Like,
right. And Ant applied for one too, and they denied his.
They denied Ant.
Well, and also Luka played. Luka would have played 65 if he hadn't gotten a 16th technical foul.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and he's already tweeted like, hey, "I wanted to be there for the birth of my daughter." Like, no,
that's not the reason.
Not the reason, dude.
That's actually not the reason. You would have played if you didn't get a 16th technical foul. And also Cunningham. And look, I got it. Like, nobody wants these guys to not be rewarded for their seasons. But it's like one of those moments where it's like, hey, we had a catastrophe where teams were sitting guys. Whether you want to blame the players or blame the teams, it got to the point where stars were regularly unavailable, and this was something that was keeping them accountable. And, I mean, as soon as it hit a couple of guys, as soon as somebody was actually not going to get rewarded and it was close, so now, I mean, we'll be done with the 65 game rule sooner than later, won't we?
Yeah, they're gonna have to tweak it some more. Bro.
Okay, and before we get out of here, I gotta play you this. This is for you, Devin. You're gonna love this because you're the one that brought it up to us last week that Azzi Fudd was in a relationship with Paige Bueckers and that she was going to get drafted number 1. That did all take place.
It did.
Right? Azzi Fudd got drafted number 1. And so she took to the podium as the number 1 pick today.
She got introduced?
She got
announced last year on TikTok that y'all were a couple. And I'm wondering if that is still the case. And if so, if y'all have talked to any other couples in the league about how they negotiate that dynamic as pro teammates.
I understand why you have to ask that question, but we're going to respectfully decline from commenting on our players' personal lives. Go to the next question.
The PR stood in immediately. This is the downside of having, like, everything be so public.
That's crazy.
PR ran in immediately. I understand why you have to ask that question, but we're not talking about our players' personal lives.
Yo, that's wild, bro. Because somebody else is going to ask the same question.
That dude said, "Are you still together? And have you talked to other couples in the league?" It's a totally reasonable question.
I mean,
when it's a very public thing,
and you are too one of the biggest.
When it's a very public thing, it is.
That is.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they didn't. That's
the PR was like, "We are not having that one."
No.
Not today, buddy.
No. All right, we are no games tonight. There are no games tonight in the NBA where we get to chill out before there are games starting tomorrow night. We will have 2 back-to-back where we become Hornets and Warriors fans.
Damn right.
Just one of it needs to go right for us.
I'm going to watch the Shawn Michaels documentary tonight.
Shawn Michaels documentary?
Yeah, it's on Peacock. It's Shawn Michaels doc. Either that or I'm going to the Peabody Roof Party. Which one do you think I should choose?
I would do the Michaels documentary.
Oh, okay. No Peabody
You'll
Roof
regret that least.
Regret what? I don't regret anything I do. I'm joking. I'll take that back.
That's not true.
Oh, man.
You wake up feeling horrible tomorrow, especially when you got a big weekend
fried.
ahead.
I don't get too fried, though, bro. That's the thing. I've learned at this ripe age of what I am to not go too hard.
You're also going to be the old guy there.
Don't do that. I'm not. When's the last time you been to a Peabody Rooftop party? I'm never the old guy.
When I was young.
It'd be some older cats in there that's older than me. Bro,
and you make fun of them.
It'd be some real old dudes in there, bro.
Like, and do you make fun of them?
Like 65-year-olds.
Do you make fun of them? Yes.
Well, because they start dancing weird, yeah.
Because they start dancing
like humping
weird.
the air, yeah, bro.
Humping the air? 65-year-olds hump the air?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like, I'm like, all right.
I didn't know that.
It's not the place for that, buddy.
Wow, that's how Roser dances.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on rhythm, though.
Yeah.
My boy Rosa got to get some more rhythm, bro.
I do the lawnmower.
He's good. Yeah.
You do the what?
The lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tap in.
Cranks it
lock
up.
in.
Cranks
whatever.
it
You got to
up.
crank it and then.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
And then you walk with
it. Get it.
You
Get
walk
it.
with it?
Get it.
Yeah, you got to crank the
lean with
lawnmower.
it. Lean with it. Rock with it. Yep. There you go.
gotta walk with
Get it. Get it. Yeah, Roser. Get it. Get it. Look, yeah, don't hate, Dev. Don't hate. I see you.
Y'all tweaking.
You started hating.
You gotta hit
Get it. Hit it. Hit it, Roser.
What is happening?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now bring it back.
Oh.
Yeah. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right. Thanks to Jalen back in the studio. Thanks to Devin Walker. Thanks to Roser across the glass. We'll be back tomorrow. Till then, we go.